Coming up in this edition of the 2018 FIFA World Cup magazine, we're in the Russian capital, Moscow. We'll check out the stadium that will host the 2018 final. And we take a look at the people's team, Spartak. The Russian national team's performance at last year's FIFA World Cup left fans of the double-headed eagle disappointed. Draws against Korea Republic and Algeria, coupled with a defeat to Belgium, saw them eliminated at the group stage. It was Russia's first appearance in the finals in 12 years, and those performances, along with a poor start to qualification for the 2016 European Championship, cost head coach Fabio Capello his job. His replacement is 44-year-old Leonid Slutsky, the first Russian coach to lead the national team in 9 years.
I think it was a matter of being in the right place at the right time. The results for the national team hadn't been to the satisfaction of the Russian Football Union. Therefore, the question of changing the coach came up, and they approached me about taking over. I wasn't expecting it, but it felt good to be offered the job. It showed that clearly the work I've been doing is highly valued. I knew I had to accept.
A former player, Slutsky suffered a career-ending knee injury while rescuing a neighbour's cat from a tree before moving into coaching. For the last 6 years, he's been the coach of Moscow giants CSKA, with whom he's won back-to-back Russian Premier League titles.
I am more than happy with my role at CSKA. I don't have any desire to leave the club. I would like to continue working at this famous club for as long as possible. But I won't deny, it is very flattering to be the head coach of the national team. I think every coach dreams about being able to lead their country.
Combining it with his job at CSKA, Slutsky was given a short-term contract with the national team with only one objective: qualify for Euro 2016. He achieved his goal in style, winning 4 out of 4, galvanising the same group of players his predecessor utilised and giving the Russian fans something to cheer.
I have no abstract philosophy. Everything depends on which players are under my control and understanding clearly what these players can or cannot do. I then try to create a game plan. I try to maximize and develop the positive aspects of their game and minimize any weaknesses.
He has brought a positive vibe to the team. He's a happy person, and he has a good sense of humour, which has really helped the team's spirit. I can't put a limit on how much of a positive effect he's had on us as players. The atmosphere in the squad is a lot more liberating and friendly.
This success has seen his contract with the national team extended until next year's Euros. Beyond that, there's the 2018 FIFA World Cup that Russia will host. If the team's performances continue to improve, then there's the real possibility that Slutsky could lead the team on the grandest stage of all.
Long term, I don't think it would be possible to combine both roles. It would be very challenging and probably impossible. My original contract was on a short-term basis. What happens next? I don't know. I'm the last person who can comment on this. It's up to the management of the Russian Football Union. They need to decide what they want to do and what will happen next.
The fans will hope that a continued upturn in fortunes is what will happen next. And with Slutsky at the helm, there's every chance that's likely to be the case. One of the venues the Russian national team will be hoping to leave their mark on is Moscow's Luzhniki Stadium. Located on the banks of the Moscow River, the Luzhniki was opened in 1956 and was originally called the Central Lenin Stadium. The country's national arena, it was renamed the Luzhniki in 1992 and has been a former home for 3 of the capital's clubs: CSKA, Spartak and Torpedo. Built to resemble the Colosseum, its iconic pillars have also played host to a number of important international sporting events, including the 1980 Olympic Games and the 2008 UEFA Champions League final.
The decision made by the Moscow government was to preserve the stadium's exterior. As you can see, the facade is the same as it was when it was built in the 1950s. Nothing has changed. The only thing that we are changing is the inside. It will be completely different. All the structure, architecture and geometry of the tribunes has been redesigned. All the spectators who have visited the Luzhniki in the past won't recognize the stadium's new interior. As you can see, the scale of the job requires a lot of materials, equipment and people to install all the new parts of the structure. It's a challenge because we have to fit everything within the old facade. But I think we're managing it successfully.
The work that has started will see the famous old venue transformed into an ultra-modern 81,000 capacity stadium. The new Luzhniki, which will host 7 matches in 2018, including the opening game and the final, will boast a new roof featuring a media screen that will project the score to everyone outside the stadium. There will also be concession stands, VIP areas and executive boxes.
The effort going into the construction isn't just because the stadium will host the opening game and the final. The quality of the stadium and our work has to reflect the level of the event. Everyone who comes here, both spectators and players, all have to be comfortable.
Work has begun on all 12 of the stadia that will stage matches at the 21st FIFA World Cup, with many expected to be completed by the end of 2016. The Luzhniki will take a little longer than that. It's scheduled to open in 2017. When it's ready, it will continue its role as the jewel in the crown of Russian football.
I believe that when this stadium is finished, people will love it. It won't be the first stadium built for the finals, but I am confident that it will be the best stadium for the tournament and also one of the best in the world.
Among those nations hoping to make it to Russia, unbeaten Saudi Arabia travelled to Timor-Leste in Group A of Asian qualifying. They were looking to extend the gap between themselves and second-placed United Arab Emirates. After taking an early lead through Mohammed Al-Salawi's penalty, captain Osama Hassawi made it 2-0 to the visitors. And within the space of 13 minutes, the Green Falcons found themselves 4 goals in front, another from Al-Salawi. In the reverse fixture in September, Al-Salawi helped himself to a hat-trick. On this occasion, he fared even better, scoring 5 of their goals in a very one-sided encounter. The 10-0 victory sees Saudi Arabia maintain their position at the top of Group A. In Group G, Korea Republic were looking to keep up their 100% record against bottom-placed Laos. It took only 3 minutes for them to break the deadlock. Suk Hyun-jun fouled in the penalty area, and Ki Sung-young converting from the spot. Ki doubled their advantage 30 minutes later, before star man Son Heung-min got in on the act to make it 3-0. Suk also got his name on the score sheet before Son scored again to make it a comfortable evening's work for the visitors. Korea Republic now firmly in control of Group G with maximum points from 6 games. With a narrow advantage over Syria at the top of Group E, Japan travelled to winless Cambodia. And they had to wait until the 51st minute to edge ahead, Labaravi-hun heading into his own net. And it wasn't until the 90th minute that Japan made the point safe. Kazuke Honda, the scorer. That win maintains Japan's unbeaten run and keeps them 1 point clear of Syria. Another unbeaten team, Qatar, faced Bhutan in Group C, knowing that a win could see them qualify for the next round. They took the lead on 22 minutes when Mohamed Muntari reacted well. strike partner Hassan Al-Haidos made it 2-0 before half-time as the visitors eased towards a 6th straight win. Al-Haidos' second near the end of the match was the Qataris' 27th goal in just 6 games. 3-0 the final score, and Qatar advance with 2 games to spare. 11 of Russia's cities will host the 2018 tournament. Here to tell us about her hometown is a 4-time Grand Slam winner.
Hi, I'm Vera Zvonareva, professional tennis player from Russia. I was born here in Moscow in 1984. On this river cruise in Moscow, I'm going to show you a few things I like about my home city. One of the things I like is Novodevichy Conventum. I like to do some running, and I usually run along the river and then go into the park around the Novodevichy Conventum. Over there, you can see a big, tall building, and this is the Moscow State University. It's one of the oldest buildings in Moscow, and it's a great architecture. It's very big and very beautiful. When you get a chance, you have to go there and see it. One of the greatest attractions that I like is Gorky Park. It is a great park, and a lot of people come here to rollerblade and enjoy their time. You can also take dance lessons here and play some games. During the summertime, it is always full. Here we can see the statue of Peter I. It was a present to Moscow, but you can see it from different places in Moscow. And of course, behind me, you will recognize the Red Square and the Kremlin. Great places, very beautiful. If you're ever in Moscow, of course, the first thing you should visit the Red Square. I have shown you a few things I like about my home city, Moscow. I hope you enjoyed my tour, and I hope you get the chance to come soon and explore the city.
2018 will mark Russia's 11th appearance at the FIFA World Cup, and sharing his memories now of the 1982 campaign is Spartak Moscow great Rinat Dasaev.
I always used to watch the World Cup on TV. It filled me with great enthusiasm. And when I first started my football career, I used to imitate many of the players. Even when I was outside playing in the street, I pretended to be them. It motivated me to want to play at the World Cup, and I did my best to achieve this goal.
Nicknamed the Cat, Dasaev made 91 appearances for his country over the course of an impressive career. Soviet Footballer of the Year in 1982, he won an Olympic bronze medal and appeared in 3 FIFA World Cups.
For me, the World Cup was a huge event because it's such a prestigious tournament that allows you to showcase your talent. You're performing at the highest level in front of thousands of spectators. I believe that for every football player, the World Cup is the most important event in their career. It only happens every 4 years. In 1982, I believe that we had one of the strongest teams. We expected to go very far in the competition. I think we played very well, and if it wasn't for one poor result against Poland, where we drew 0-0, we would have gone through to the semi-finals. We needed to win that game. We had chances to score, but it wasn't meant to be. I often think about it, what we might have achieved. Of course, we didn't do what we wanted to, and when I remember this, I get upset. I get tears in my eyes. It was a missed opportunity, and a great disappointment to me. My favourite moment from that World Cup, though, was when we played Brazil in our first game. We lost 2-1, but if it wasn't for a couple of decisions, we could have won the game. It was one of our best performances, and I'll always remember it.
Nowhere epitomises Moscow, Russia's vast and ancient capital, quite like Red Square. An enormous 73,000 square metres, Red Square is the heart and soul of both the city and the country. It encapsulates all aspects of Russia's culture and history. On its four sides stand the Kremlin, the Gum Department Store, the State Historical Museum and St. Basil's Cathedral, centres of government, commerce, history and religion. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, Red Square attracts over 1 million visitors a year.
I like Red Square a lot. It's very beautiful and atmospheric here. You can see the real soul of Moscow here. 2 years ago, when I first came to Moscow as a student, Red Square was the first place I visited. I was overwhelmed. It was just great. It's incredible.
Together with the old Kremlin, it's the main part why I'm here.
The history of Red Square is very rich. The city was founded approximately 900 years ago, and there used to be another Kremlin here that was white. The current Kremlin was built using red bricks by Ivan the Terrible. It's since that time that the area has had the name Red Square. There are many stories to be told around the square. Next to us here at 1 Red Square is the Historical Museum. The Historical Museum represents the entire history of Russia and its people. There are exhibitions here showcasing various jewellery or household items from the different regions of the country. There is a lot to see inside. On the opposite side, you can see the pearl of the square, St. Basil's Cathedral. St. Basil's Cathedral is the church which consists of a number of small bell towers which unite as one temple. If you visit the inside, you can see a number of beautiful frescoes. You can see what churches looked like 300–400 years ago because the entire interior has been very well preserved.
Yesterday, my friend told me that he associates it with ice cream cones. I thought that was very amusing. It's the first time I heard someone say the cathedral looks like ice cream cones. I think it sounds sweet. It has very beautiful architecture. It's very grand and noble. I think it's very nice.
The Kremlin is very beautiful and holds a very important place in every Russian's heart.
It's all really amazing. Yesterday we went over there and, well, inside it's really beautiful with all the cathedrals and all the different styles of architecture. It's really cool.
A retail centre of some sort has always existed here, so having the Gum is very appropriate. It has a history that goes back over 100 years. I don't think there are many shopping centres in the world that can boast such a rich and diverse history as this one.
I'd certainly recommend visiting Red Square to anyone who's never been. It's fantastic and beautiful here.
It's a must-see place, and the name Red Square has another meaning. In Old Russian, the word red, krasna, means beautiful. Therefore, it's a beautiful square.
There you have it, Red Square, a must-see in 2018. In Russian football, the red and white shirt of Spartak Moscow is synonymous with success.
In Russia, Spartak is above all other clubs.
Spartak fans are everywhere because it's a people's team. It's our club. The entire country supports Spartak Moscow, no matter what the result.
Of course, when you see the diamond on your chest, it leaves a certain impression. You understand the responsibility you have on your shoulders, but you mustn't focus on this, because if you keep thinking about it all the time, you could lose your mind.
Founded in 1922, Spartak Moscow was unique in the fact it didn't fall under the control of any of the state institutions. Spartak was a club built by the people, for the people, hence the nickname, the People's Team. Success followed, and to date, the club has won a total of 34 League and Cup titles, including 9 of the first 10 editions of the Russian Premier League. It's a record that is second to none, but since their most recent cup triumph in 2003, the club has struggled. Following a disappointing campaign last season, the Spartak board appointed former Russian Player of the Year and club legend Dmitry Alenachev as the team's head coach.
When I signed the contract with Spartak, I knew the responsibility I was taking on and the goals I needed to achieve. I was very clear about it all, and I wasn't intimidated by any of the challenges. Now my wish is to shift things at Spartak from this standstill point, because I've been truly disappointed in the last few years.
Alenachev is a man steeped in the spirit of Spartak, who knows the entire history of the club and took part in the history himself. At the moment, he demands that we show the type of football that everyone expects of a club like Spartak Moscow.
Spartak now play their home games at the newly built Spartak Arena. And such is their appeal, the club has had the highest average attendance of any team in the Russian Premier League over the last 2 seasons.
It's no coincidence that we call it the People's Club. Not only because of the great history and achievement of the players, but also a brand of football that is enjoyable to the people. Despite the fact that we haven't won anything for a long time, the fans continue to grow in numbers.
It's not even up for debate. Not only are they bigger in numbers than the fans of CSKA, Zenit or Dinamo, they're truly honest in their support of Spartak and have great patience, because for 12 years they haven't had any trophies to celebrate. This army of supporters does not decrease, but increases in numbers, because they're totally devoted to Spartak.
Once the powerhouse of Russian football, Spartak and its fans have had to endure some barren years. This season has been a mix of jubilation and frustration in equal measure. But with a new stadium to call their own and a coach steeped in Spartak's history, fans of the red and whites can look to the future with optimism.
I think we needed this stability, because you can't achieve anything if you're constantly changing. Now a direction has been decided, new people have come in, and now that we are moving in a positive direction, our aim is to win something.
Now we've had time to develop, I think realistically, and I emphasise realistically, Spartak will challenge Zenit and CSKA for the title next season.